Since 1973, Tattoo Charlie's has been an established body modification studio in Kentucky, featuring world-renowned artists and piercers, currently with locations on Preston Highway and in Lexington, a staple point in the tattoo community. Learn more at TattooCharlies.com. Set up your appointment today at 7904 Preston Highway. Our tattoos are done while you wait. Welcome to the Metal Forge. I'm your host, Mark Jackson, and I'm going to be pounding out the best regional metal for you tonight. If you're new to this show, pick up your hammer and get down with some of these featured guests. Got any questions or comments? Send them to metalforgeradio@gmail.com. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Metal Forge. I'm your host, Mark Jackson. Thank you all for tuning in today on Friday, April the 17th, and my guest today is Guy Hinton from EchoSoul in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's going to be coming on the show talking about their upcoming album. It's supposed to be out on April the 24th and featuring a few different singers, but, you know, the one that everybody is curious about from the Three Tremors and Judas Priest would be Tim the Ripper Owens. Holy shit, that's awesome. 2 bands in 2 weeks who have featured Ripper Owens on vocals on their stuff. That's pretty damn cool. Before we get into that, I'm going to look on Loudwire here because, you know, I like to do that occasionally. Just going to read through the headlines here. Danzig has made a statement about the Misfits doing something new. That might be kind of cool. 37 years ago, Dave Mustaine was fired from Metallica and thus incited a war that would last until like 2012. 50 years ago this past week, the Beatles broke up. 32 years ago, Iron Maiden released Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. Hell yeah, you know, that's pretty cool shit. So how is everybody out there today? You know, I'm doing fairly well amidst all this virus bullshit. You know, it's been kind of hard. Honestly, I can't lie about that because, you know, we all want to go to shows. We all want to support our friends' bands and everybody else. And if, you know, bigger bands, you know, if you had tickets to shows and shit like that, you know, a lot of the summer festivals have been canceled already and to be rescheduled and shit. But, you know, it's kind of hard, and we're all just trying to make it through, so keep trying to make it through as well. If you have any kind of questions or concerns for the Metal Forge, you know, you can email me at metalforgeradio@gmail.com. If you have any kind of music from the 80s to the mid-2000s, like 2005, you know, that's kind of around the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois area, you can always email that to me as well, because I'm always looking for not big bands, you know, not like, I don't want the Testament or Death Angel or any of that stuff, you know, I've got all that. I want bands that nobody's really heard of, or if you have heard of them, that, like Crowhaven, for example, out of Danville, Kentucky, awesome ass fucking band. I've got some pretty awesome news. I've got a band called Worms coming on next week, and after that, the Metal Forge goes international with Spell from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And then the following week, we go overseas with Underking from the United Kingdom. That's going to be fucking cool. You know, first out of the United States bands, I should say. That's going to be fucking awesome, and I can't wait for that. So tune in and metal the fuck out with us, all right? Because that's what it's all about. So thank you to everybody who also is out there listening. I appreciate it. If you feel so cool, you know, you might just head over to the Patreon page, drop $1 in the bucket. I am changing a few things on there as well. Whereas if we get $250 a month, I'm going to start uploading at least 2 episodes a week. And if we get $500 a month, I plan to do at least 4 episodes a week plus some exclusive Patreon posts, which is patreon.com/metalforgeradio. Anything is accepted. You know, we have $1, $5, $20, $40, $50, whatever, you know, and you can put in custom amounts too, that where you're not just on a tiered basis, you know, but there are awesome things like, you know, shirts, hoodies, patches are going to be on there, stickers are on there, and then, you know, you got the down and dirty dollar stuff where it's, you know, it's all good. So anything helps. and I appreciate everything, all the feedback that you guys give me, because it's that feedback that lets me pick these bands like Underking and Spell and Worms and EchoSoul. That's stuff that you guys want me to contact and review and interview these people. So I dig it. I love it. I thank you guys. Here is EchoSoul. All right, so I'm being joined on the phone with Guy Hinton from EchoSoul. Guy, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
And you are from Fort Wayne, is that correct?
That is correct.
So tell the listeners out there about EchoSoul. How did you all start?
Well, Echo Soul is really, it's a new brainchild. Used to be band Apparition. It wasn't nothing big, and get out there and record anything. It was just a lot of live stuff and, jamming around. And really that was what the band name was originally going to be, was Apparition. And when I started making this music, it wasn't really the original members doing it. It was just kind of just me then at this point, kind of starting this project back up again. And I felt, it's a different time and the music is kind of coming out a little bit differently, and it just needed a name change. And when I started hitting on the lyrics itself, really I had to come up with something that really was the center of everything and what made sense about what I'm writing about. And that's where the name started to enter in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's currently you. Who else is in the band?
Well, obviously, if you get a chance to hear the album when it comes out, and I'm sure you've heard the singles already, it's a collaboration of quite a few people. It's not just me in there. I mean, I got Rob Lundgren singing vocals, Tim Ripper Owens singing a couple songs. I had Samus Polisella doing drums. I had Nick Nocturnal guest guitaring. I had Garrett, Jay Peters on doing some guitar stuff. So it's been a collaboration.
Absolutely. And one major name that I think all of the listeners out there recognize is Ripper Owens.
Of course.
Tell us about that. Did you just sit there and say, I'm going to reach out to this guy, or did you know him from something previous? How did that come about?
Well, I mean, he's only really 2 hours from here. He used to own the Ripper's Tap House in Ohio. And I used to be actually the president of the Freedom Riders Bike Club. And we used to do some rides for patriots and military vets. And I was obviously a fan of Ripper. It's kind of the same age bracket, very similar, close to. And we was going to go out and do a ride, actually out to the Ripper's Tap House and take like 15 guys up that way for a ride. And unfortunately, we set it up to come out there, and he invited us as a group. He's going to give us a discount. It never happened the year it was supposed to, but I kept tabs, and it ended up closing, but I kept the contact info. And he ended up posting something on Facebook, just kind of like just checking out things are going on. He said, hey, anybody want to do some recording? I'm available. So I'm like, well, I'll just shoot a note, see what happens, fill it out. And I did. I shot him some demos of some of the guitar work and said, hey, you want to do this? Like, yeah.
Wow.
And so he was on it, man. He's like, dude, I'm leaving right around December, I think is when he's going to go on tour, November, December. He had to do the Ronnie James Dio, and he was going to start the Three Tremors next. So I had to hit him up before then. So I got him 3 songs, and we were going to do probably the whole album, honestly. We might have done the whole album together, but we just didn't have the time, which is fine because I think what he did worked great for his vocals, and what I did with Rob, I think worked great for Rob's vocals. So, or for my other vocals as well. So, so what he did, the 3 songs, I've had 2 of them on the album, and I got a third. I'm going to combine his lyrics with Rob's. We did a cut with both of them singing. We're going to do a duet. I'm going to release that single later, which would be pretty cool. So then people can kind of see the contrast and just, it'd be original. So.
Right. And one of the songs that he appears on is Where Echoes Go, correct?
Yep, exactly. And
awesome.
It was made for him. That song I wrote specifically for his voice. 2 that he sung first, Cobwebs of the Mind and Elemental, they were already ready. I pictured his vocals working on there, so that's the ones I gave him. But Where Echoes Go, I made it on the spot. I made it in 2 weeks. I already had a few of the riffs sitting in my brain and I already had them kind of down working on Pro Tools. And I was like, man, I need a painkiller song that's made for Tim. And that's what I sent to him. And that was actually ended up being the first one he recorded instead of the last.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is super cool, and, given from, my age group, I'm younger than you are, especially with what you had said that he was closer to your age group.
Right.
And he's pretty much, you know, the Judas Priest of my generation.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we still had, like, you know, when I was born, yeah, of course they were in their stride, but when I was, you know, a teenager and young, you know, 12, 13, 14, you know, it was before Rob even came back to Judas Priest. Of course. So, yeah, absolutely.
I call them the fresh years. I call them the refresh years for Judas Priest. It's like a second wind. Because when Rob left, they were kind of, you know, they needed to kick in the side a little bit, and they reached out and tried something new. And, you know, a lot of us Judas Priest fans were like, oh, man, what are you going to do? You know, because how can you replace Rob? His sound is phenomenous of Rob. They couldn't have picked a better guy. I think Tim, if you listen to the live albums for doing Judas Priest, he's perfect for Judas Priest. I kind of feel like he kind of got robbed a little bit because of the two albums he did. They disappeared. You don't see much of them. But I think what he did was a huge chapter of Judas Priest history. And you're saying it, like I said, your age group and hearing it, you know that's good stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's great stuff.
You know, it's almost in that whole time, you know, in the early to mid 90s. It's kind of like the two biggies did the exact same thing, you know, Maiden and Priest.
Sure,
that both had new vocalists come in.
Right. Well, I think it was perfect for Ripper because it launched his career. It got him recognized, and he got on some great projects from there. I mean, that put him in Iced Earth. That put him in Charred Walls of the Dam, which to me, it's phenomenal. I love the sound of Charred Walls of the Dam. Iced Earth, I love too, but for me, I think that project, it gets totally missed. I think it's one of his best. Charred Walls of the Dam, both the albums. Well, actually, I got three, I believe, but the first two specifically. But yeah, he's a good vocalist. He's solid all around. He's metal. He's what you call metal.
Right. Oh, I 100% agree with it. So, in the digital age and everything, how do you write a song for a project like what you have? He's 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I'm sure, is not in the same city as you.
Of course. Yeah, none of us. In fact, the only person I work with, I got a friend here that has a studio here locally, but he only worked on one track out of this whole album. Everything else was kind of outdone. The mixing got done away from my house, but the guitars got recorded right here in my house. I got a studio set up. I did Pro Tools, set up through a Line 6 Helix. I dulled my sounds, and I went through about 3 different guitars. 2 of my Schecters are pretty much throughout this whole album. I would riff it out. I would basically layer the track, record it, put it in Pro Tools. I go back and forth, and there's a guy named Artem that I've been working with that's doing the mixing engineering. He's also a good bassist, and he does drum samples as well. So before we had the live drum tracks, we had samples that I had Artem do on top of my rhythms. So we go back and forth. I tweak the sound. I'd send it to him. He'd fix out the timing. I would get a basic track minus bass and just with samples, and I get that out to Rod. That's all he would need. So as long as I had the rhythm track, the melody, the lyrics, I'd put it to him. That's it. I was usually writing the lyrics probably about 3/4 into the song. I either had an idea in my mind already or already had it wrote, and I just kind of tweaked the chorus, keep the meaning, but I would kind of make it sound, once the song got tweaked a little bit, I would do the embellishes and say, yeah, this is what he needs to really feel him to sing. Absolutely. And I just cut him loose on it.
The fine-tuning aspect of it.
Yep,
okay,
exactly.
I can get that.
Yep.
Definitely. So what is the allure to music for you?
The allure?
What brings you, what says to you, this is what I have to do?
Boy, that's a vast question, quite honestly, because, obviously we kind of talking about it before you went live, but I'd set music down for probably 10 years. It doesn't mean I stopped listening, but I stopped writing. I stopped playing. I just got involved with life, picked up, started a company, had the Freedom Riders, the bike, group, and doing a lot of, activities. And I just didn't have the love for music because the musicians weren't available to play with, to record. And that was always my passion, was recording. And nobody wanted to go in the studio. They wanted to play live and do covers. And that was never my thing. That's where my love kind of fell off. So 10 years, almost 15, really. Funny thing happens. My daughter gets married, and we decide to move her in the house so they can save some money to get out in real life. So we move them down to the basement, and I have to move some of my gear, all my guitars and everything. And we move it to a smaller room, which becomes my music studio, and we give them the lower level. In doing so, I pick up one of the 7-string. I just started strumming, and that was it. It just fueled me all over again. I started writing riffs, and I just recorded one after the other, just falling out of my head like an alien zapped into my brain. And I just started writing riffs. I ended up with about 157 within 2 months. I said, I need to start recording. And I already knew the technology was there, that I didn't need to find anyone else but whoever's available. I can send it to them, and we can collaborate. And that's where this started. So as far as the music itself, I've always been a metal fan. I've never stopped as far as being a fan. And there's certain music that's always driven me, all the way from, Testament, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, till today's music. I mean, there's so many good bands out there, like Morris Principian, Este, which is solely hard to, a lot of people can't even pronounce their name. I probably don't even do it right. To even the New Day Dream Theater stuff, other than, what's going on with them now, but there's just good music, and it's never quit. Metal may have faded from radio, but it never faded from the metal community.
True.
Go ahead.
Because if it did fade from the community, I would probably be doing the old school Forge or something,
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. Which would probably still be a fan base for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Totally get it.
No,
yep.
Absolutely, completely.
Yeah.
What inspires you to write music? I'm sorry,
writing,
did you have something else you wanted to?
No. Actually, that's perfect, because that's what I was thinking of. Writing has always been my blood. I used to, actually, funny thing, while I was in high school, somebody made it big. They're a glam band down in L.A. I was in high school, around 16 years old, and I was writing riffs before I could even play music. And I was writing this song out, and somebody behind me, and one of the girlfriends of the guy in the band, said, "You know what? We're having trouble writing lyrics, and I seen your poem. It looked cool." I was like, "Well, it is a song." He said, "Do you mind if we get a song from you for our band?" And they end up carving it out and actually taking it and using it, and they end up making it with
oh, wow.
In Hollywood. I got credit on it to a degree, but I don't think I got my name on it. Didn't matter. I was a kid. It was just cool to actually contribute to it, but I knew right then that I had a gift, or at least a want, to write music. Everything I put into poetry or doing music, I just had that metal mind of, like, well, just picture when you hear Iron Maiden, do you just think of Bruce's voice? You also think about the lyrics. You think lyrics as well. They write great.
I am a huge advocate for lyrical content. Exactly. I've often and always said that something can be heavy musically, but it can equally be as heavy ideologically, lyrically.
Exactly.
And that's always been a thing.
Exactly. You hear a band, and you can take that lyrics can take you to that next level. I used to love to sit down and look at the album cover, but actually go through the lyrics. If you listen to even early day Wasp, when they started getting out of the gore stuff, Blackie Lawless was actually a phenomenal writer. When he got into the Crimson Idol area, that's another guy that you just listen to the words, and you're speaking to somebody who's putting their life down into their pages, which now wouldn't be album covers or digitized. But back then I used to look at the album covers and go, okay, let's go a little deeper. And then you got to know the band, and it actually resonated with what you do in life. And that's what I was kind of influenced by. So certain bands appealed to me. Some bands you hear and you like, and they just don't have any, lyrical content, but some bands you just gravitate to the whole picture, like, well, you're going to get it all. You're not just getting good music, you're getting good lyrics too.
Right. And people rag on Kiss for that. Like, everything's sex, drugs, and partying. And that's
Right.
pretty much the expansion of their lyrical content. So,
And there's a place for that too. I said, just good old fun music, I suppose. But
I mean,
that's just never been me.
I always imagine what would the world be like if Kiss performed "Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner"?
There wouldn't be one,
right? It'd be 3.5 minutes, and there would be a lot of from Paul Stanley.
Right.
So, if you don't mind my asking, what was the song that
what song we speaking of
that you wrote that the people used?
And
kind of and made it off of?
Actually, the name of it, you're fletching in my memory now. That's 1,000 songs later.
Or the band that did it.
Oh, the band that did it. They're a glam rock band from L.A. They tour with Law's Rocket, and this is fleeting me the name of them. They only did like 2 tours, but they did make it. Fleeting me the name of them because their name it's 2 words. But if I could think of it, I'd tell you. They're not huge. They did make it. They didn't make it past the 2 albums.
Well, I mean, hey, it's something, right?
It's something. It's something. I never bragged about it though because they didn't make it big. They just made it. I'm like, well, if they made it big and they hit gold and you see it on the top 40, it would have made something. I would have said, hey, that's my song.
If you could have written any other album or song from another band, what would it be?
From another band?
Yeah.
You mean for a band or
from somebody else? Like if you sit there and could say, "Damn, I wish I really would have written that." What would it be?
Oh, man, I really never even thought about that. You mean a song that's just something that just wish I had my hand on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's a lot of material to think about. Heaven and Hell, man. I'd say Heaven and Hell from Black Sabbath.
As in the album or the song?
The song.
Oh,
the song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can say that. Yeah. Especially when that part, and ultimately, it's a Tony Iommi-ism where he, everything's done in kind of like the E, but like when he gets to that chorus part, it's just something completely different, and that's where I think that's where it differs from '70s Sabbath with Ozzy.
Of course.
When he gets to the chorus parts.
It's a build-up. It's a build-up. It takes you on a journey, and it may be simple today's age with music, but if you listen to it, it has so much texture, and it's got so much melody. So you go from the lyrics all the way down to the guitar. You got the whole package, and it just takes you for a ride. So even today, it's just one of those songs you can crank up, and it's just as good as it was the first time.
Absolutely. I mean, I can go back and listen to it any day of the week, I think, honestly.
Yep.
Because it's still just, there's something about it. Right. It's and
Dio was made for that.
Oh, very much. I don't think, even if they had survived with Ozzy through that time period, I don't think that would be where they went.
Wouldn't have been the same. And I love Ozzy, but he's made for the songs he sang. And I think that was made for Ronnie's time. It was just the perfect combination of them being together.
Right. Heavier Sabbath.
A heavier Sabbath, yeah. Just what would you do if you became a little more metal? That's what happened there.
Very much.
That'd be one of them.
Do you listen to yourself musically, as in from a fan perspective rather than a critique perspective?
Honestly, it's really hard for me because I spend so much time doing the riffs or re-recording or trying to perfect certain parts. I can hear it when I'm making it, but the problem is I have trouble judging my own stuff. So I instantly ask somebody else, "What do you think? Give me an honest shot. Do you like this? Is it listenable?" Because I can't do it to myself. For some reason, it's just I don't know if
you're too close to it.
Too close to it. Maybe it's too personal, but in a way, maybe it's you're misconstrued. I've heard it too many times to get a fresh ear on it. So I can't go to and go, wow, I do like it and I love making this song, I could do that with certain songs. I got a song called Hangman. That's my personal favorite of this whole album because I'm emotionally invested in that song. But there's probably other good songs on there, and I can't go, hey, with a fresh ear, what does it sound like for the first time? Because I played it 100 times.
Right.
It's hard to do that.
I get
it's
that.
Really hard. Yeah.
I get that. Which actually, you kind of answered my next question in that as well. It's like, do you have a favorite song that you've ever done? And especially for this album, Hangman. That's cool. I look forward to seeing that or hearing that rather.
Well, that's my Rhyme Ancient Mariner, which would be another one of the songs I wish I wrote as well.
It's 14 minutes. No.
Well, it's close. It's 11 and a half. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love long songs like that.
Well, you're getting that with this one. It takes you on a journey too.
They're great for the cardio.
Sure. I mean, if you like having certain grooves that you lose time when you're listening to it, that's kind of what I got here. When I was playing it, I'm going, man, I just need to repeat this for a little bit, but I need to dig it a little bit farther. There's a lot of variety in it, but it still goes back to a certain place where it kind of grabs you and takes you back. So I fell in love with this one. I like the message because it's kind of taken from a different perspective nobody's ever thought of. Oh.
Right on.
Yeah.
Walk me through this with all of the people who have recorded this album being away from one another. That kind of puts a kind of a limit on live performance.
Not really. Not at all.
I mean, are you going to have guest musicians come out, or the other people who performed on the album going to come out and play shows? How's that work?
Both. Actually,
Nice.
Rob's willing to come out. Tim's actually willing to come out and actually sing some of the songs he's got, as long as the schedule's open. So that's kind of cool. Now I got local musicians that are joining the flanks after the fact.
Okay.
I got some friends that I used to play with that just came available after the recording part, and then they're in love with the music already. I'm like, well, if you got time, let's do some live shows this summer. So I started putting a few together. Two of my friends, one's a double bass drummer, Chris Martinez. The other friend is Kevin Messman, and he's been a guitarist for a good 25 years, and he's a good shredder. So he's capable of handling any of the leads on there if need be. And they both like the music, which is better for me than not just hiring somebody to come play it. They're involved. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
So as far as the vocal part is the biggest part. When you listen to a band, obviously you can't just throw anybody in and sing songs. So I am doing tryouts for a vocalist in case we need them for live shows in the summer. If Rob was not available, or if Tim couldn't sing his own songs, we need to have somebody that can identify with the same songs and sing just as well. So I am looking at somebody that can jam with us on a local basis. I got tryouts going. I actually have some pretty good guys that are actually kind of pulled up to the switch to try out. So, but I think what's going to happen is we'll probably play 2 or 3 shows, and I bet you I'll probably be able to have Tim play a couple of songs live just as guesting, and we'll either end up with a full-time new singer, or Rob's going to still continue to play with me going forward, because we had a really good working relationship, and he did a phenomenal job on the songs.
That's great.
So, he is from out of the country, but he does have a visa, so it's not a problem flying here.
Well, by the time this is being recorded, it might be a problem flying.
Well,
hopefully by the time this airs, on the other hand, hopefully by the time this airs, it won't be that bad.
Yes, this was thinking before the virus. Obviously.
Right.
Could change things. We don't know what summer will bring, but we're going to be positive. I'm going to say that we're going to get out of this all right.
Absolutely, and I hope so too.
All right.
So, if you could have played a concert from days gone past, what would it be?
Me being live and being involved in the concert.
Like if you were like whatever band you like, if this band you were able to perform at something, people have said Isle of Wight. Somebody even said Woodstock '99.
Well, I mean, okay, if it was a different sound of music, I'd say Us Festival '83, just because I was already there, but I didn't play music there. Nice. But I would say if I had to tour big band wise, I would love to be on the Iron Maiden somewhere in Somewhere in Time tour. I would have loved to have been involved with that. That would have been epic, just to be in that lineup, playing with them on that tour. Or the Power Slave tour, either one. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, honestly, wouldn't it just be kind of like any Maiden tour?
Any Maiden tour,
because
you
they're
can't
all
go
so
wrong.
epic. I mean,
Right, yeah.
Seeing them on like Made in England, and then, 30 years later when it's the Made in England, like, remake, and, it's...
I gave you a cop-out answer because that's pretty easy. You're right.
No, I mean, but that's what it is, though.
It's true. Yeah,
all their concerts are good. It's one of those things where, you just want to do that.
Yep.
And I can relate to that.
The other thing I would have loved to do, and this is when Nevermore played with when Death was still touring.
Oh wow!
And when Chuck Schuldiner was around, I would have loved to have been just fly on the wall, been a part of that, just an up and coming band, just to be involved. There was a mastermind and a musician that just isn't known to a lot of people this day and age. Chuck Schuldiner was a gift to this world. He was creating a new genre of music. It was never intended to scream vocals over. He wanted a melodic vocalist doing stuff that he was playing on top of. And he was on the pinch of doing it before he got his brain tumor. So he was taken from the world way too soon.
Very much. Yes. Very much on that.
So would have loved to have done that.
All right. So now everybody's fun part, the generalization questions here.
Okay.
So, do you have a favorite film?
Oh boy, Braveheart, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's totally cool because I, before everything happened, Fathom Events was screening the 25th anniversary showing of Braveheart in their theaters. So
it's awesome, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I totally
it's got everything.
Totally would have wanted to see that in a theater.
Yeah,
so.
It gets your blood pumping anytime you want to watch it.
Absolutely. Very cool cast in that. I didn't realize, until later on that the guy who plays Hamish is the guy who plays Mad Eye Moody in the Harry Potter series.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Man,
movie nerd stuff here.
Well, imagine that.
Do you have a favorite?
Well, it's a metal music minus the metal music.
Oh yeah, you can,
metal movie.
I could totally see Maiden, doing something over that, or
the Trooper.
Yeah, the Trooper in 1200 AD.
Yep, it wouldn't have been a British thing. It would have been with the skirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite food?
Lasagna, man. Gotta go lasagna. Yeah, my mom made the best lasagna. Nobody's beat it since, but I love getting good lasagna. So.
But you're always looking for someone to try, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Try it. Try to beat it. Try to beat it.
What's your ultimate jam?
Ultimate jam?
Yeah.
An ultimate jam. Boy, just a music comp or just, because that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, musically. What would be your favorite jam? What is, what would be something that always finds its way back to your whatever media you use? If it's LPs, MP3s, CDs, tapes, because they're coming back. Man.
That's rough because, I was really kind of in the borderline of the album to cassettes. So I had a huge collection of cassettes by the time I was really fully invested in music. So maybe my heart pulls the cassettes, but there again, they break a lot.
Right.
So once you lose them, you never got them back. You had an empty spot where you play, boom, 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 boom,
I
was playing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
or you would go to rewind it, like if you did that thing when you were in high school with the pencil or the ink pen, and then you went and did it too fast, and it mangled the tape.
I've done it,
and it just mangled it.
Oh yeah, Ingve Malmsteen's Rising Force. I did that with this tape. Yep, Black Star. In fact, you couldn't hear any of Black Star.
Oh wow,
it was ruined.
But what album or song constantly finds its way back, whatever medium it is, to your player?
That comes back to my players? You mean a song that survived through the album period?
Yeah, from, whatever it is that you want to, if it's Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, is that the song that you always listen to? Or if it's, or if it's
That's so hard.
Something off of Screaming for Vengeance, or
honestly, and this is kind of crazy because I was thinking a lot of new music lately. It's kind of been spin, but if it goes from the 80s, I would have to say, because that's kind of my primary, I think, is the 80s. I would have to say, I would love to say something off Painkiller, but I had to go farther back. I would say Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, because I think that song in itself just, oh man, anytime it just pumped me up all the way through high school. That's just a song. It's a good song. It's strong. I'm thinking about doing a cover version live when we play live. Actually, of Some Heads Are Gonna Roll, doing a new metalized version of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like this, a new recreation of it, just to give homage to it. I love that song. I love it.
Definitely. So what's your guilty pleasure musically?
Guilty pleasure. That'd be the one of those bands you don't want to talk about. Huh. What would that be? Honestly, man. All right, let me think real hard. I don't want to take too long. There's actually a guy. He's like a Christian rapper. His name is NF, and I'm not a rap fan. Trust me, I'm a metalhead. But this guy had something. My daughter was listening, turned it on to me for a quick second, and I have a nice system in my truck, and just put it on. It was really good. It was just atmospheric, It was, if metal was kind of rap type of thing. He was more talking than he was rapping. It was interesting, I liked it. There's a guilty pleasure for it. Shoot me,
Oh,
whatever.
no, hey, I've had people say Lady Gaga. I've had people say Billie Eilish. So, and they're metalheads. So I totally get it. And that's, what it is.
Yep.
Do you have,
so that's mine.
You've been playing a long time. You quit playing for a long time. As for the live aspect of things, do you have a Spinal Tap moment?
Oh boy, Spinal Tap moments. You mean for the times that we were out live?
Yes.
I got one. Perfect. Actually, I do. I would say it's probably around 1998, maybe 99. We were actually doing the apparition thing, and we were a 4-piece. It was supposed to be 5. And the singer that we had at the time wasn't really a good singer, and we were trying to replace him. But we had a tryout, or one of those, what do you call it? You plug and play. It was a bar, and it had like a jam night. And we decided to go out and just play without him, just a jam, because there's guys playing there with no singers or whatever. So we're like, all right, cool, let's do it. And we knew a lot of the people were there. So we're like, cool, we'll show up. So we had like 50, 70 people were going to show up just to see us, just friends of ours. And we go in and get ready. And this is a doofus moment for me. I go up in there and I got my Digitech RP12, my plug and play, all multi-effects processor. And got my Charvel guitar, my Jackson. It was right before Charvel went Jackson. And all shined up, ready to go. And my drummer, he's kind of missing beats a little bit. And I'm like, what's wrong, man? Are you ready to play live? I was just kind of giving him a hard time. Really, it was me that was probably nervous. And get ready to play. And we start going. And I'm not hearing my guitar all of a sudden. I'm looking around, and everybody's kind of, oh, that's pretty cool. And they're just kind of bobbing their heads. And I'm going, man, my guitar, I don't hear anything. And I go down there, and I'm messing with this thing. And I'm supposed to be the biggest part of the song, I'm only carrying the melody, and there's nothing going on. And I'm looking back, I'm like, all right, pause, hang on, we got to check this out real quick. So we stop, and then my sound comes back. So we start playing again. Sure enough, my sound disappears again. I get into the chorus, and it's gone. Nothing. I'm looking around, and I go through and start pulling wires, and everybody's like, oh, man, what's going on with these guys? Just feel like an idiot. Then I go down there and go, wait a minute, I bet you my battery's dead. I didn't have a spare 9-volt. Nobody had a 9-volt.
Oh, no.
It was electronics, man. Nobody in the building. I had to get on the microphone and go, does anybody have a 9-volt battery that I could borrow? So I ended up actually getting one about 10 minutes later. I borrowed it from another guy's guitar. We ended up doing 2 songs and getting out of there.
Oh my gosh!
It was fun.
It's moments like that make you stay humble, I think. As a musician.
Well, we had a good laugh. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
It's always and here we are 20 years later, and some guy on a podcast goes, "What's your Spinal Tap moment?" And you can say that,
Exactly. I'll never not go with a 9-volt battery on any of my electronic guitars
Never.
again. Let's just put it that way.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually hit a like a block on stage for a pedal, and where it was plugged into an extension cord. Yeah. And I stepped on it and slid and almost did the splits.
Oh man.
I get it. I get it. I taped that stuff down now. So
yeah. Well, at least you came back from it. It could have been worse, I suppose.
Yeah, but it would have been terrible.
Well, David Lee Roth used to do it all the time.
Oh, I know, right? But didn't he crack himself in the skull with a sword?
Yes, he did. He cut it pretty bad too.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yep.
What is your greatest achievement as a musician?
Oh man, as a musician, good grief, I haven't achieved what I want to yet. I don't know if I ever will achieve what I want to on music.
But currently,
just getting this full album done, and knowing that I'm going to be doing a second album right behind this one, that for me, I'm happy about, because I wanted to do this 20 years ago. It just, nobody was available. It just was a bad time for it, and the things weren't right. The timing wasn't right, and now the timing's right. I don't care how old I am. It's just, it's a place where I feel like I'm in my prime again, and I want to get it out as quickly as possible. I want to get all these riffs that I'm hearing in my head and get it down. I think the metal community is accepting to something that sounds good. And for me, just to do it, just to get it out and say, you know what, I hope my grandkids will be able to hear this and go, I'm proud you did this, Grandpa, or whatever. That's good enough for me. I don't need fanfare or nothing like that. But just to know that it was able to put something that's good and listenable, I can hear 10 years from now and go, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that. That's enough for me.
Awesome. That's, yes, 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
If heaven or hell exists, what would you like to hear when you get to wherever you think you're going?
Oh, it's definitely going to be heaven, number one. I don't plan on going south, man. I'm not good with fire.
You're the first person to say that. Everybody else is like, I'm going to hell.
Nope. I'm not excited to get there. I'm going to pack my bags, head that direction.
Right. But what would you like to hear?
Oh, man. Gosh, there's too many songs to hear. I think I'm actually going to be able to hear a turntable of all my favorite songs, minus the ones like King Diamond that, obviously God ain't going to be happy about me playing Abigail in heaven. But, I think it'll be a musical paradise to me. So I can't really give a specific song, quite honestly. There's too many that come into my head. There's too many. I'd be kind of like selling some of my best bands short because there's too many.
Absolutely. Before we go, so tell everybody again that the album release is going to be...
Actually, we pushed it back because of the virus and stuff going on.
Right.
We're going to release it, I believe, the 24th, so we get more time.
The 24th of April.
24th of April. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Right. So that is release date. Full album, be everywhere.
All right. And it's going to be, of course, on Spotify, iTunes, CD Baby, Bandcamp, I'm assuming, all of that.
Everywhere.
All of those places.
Everywhere. And you can find us on Facebook. You can go to melodyandmetal.com. The website will have links for that as well.
Awesome. And are there any shout-outs you want to give?
I would like to I'll give a shout-out to Roxy for being a fan and a great rep for the band right now. She's out there working hard to get the music out, so I certainly appreciate that. And any future fans we got, or anybody, give it a listen. We appreciate it. That's all that matters. Is hopefully we can give you some more of this. So
awesome. And Guy, I thank you very much. And we will see you a little bit farther on up the road. And hopefully we can get you to come down to Louisville and do a show down here.
Awesome, brother.
All right.
I'm happy to do it.
And before we go, this is Where Echoes Go featuring Ripper Owens. Since 1973, Tattoo Charlie's has been an established body modification studio in Kentucky, featuring world-renowned artists and piercers, currently with locations on Preston Highway and in Lexington, a staple point in the tattoo community. Learn more at TattooCharlies.com. Set up your appointment today at 7904 Preston Highway. Our tattoos are done while you wait.